In this video, we'll explore the news of why China sent a spy ship into the Indian Ocean at the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka and the potential implications for regional security. This vessel of 20,000 tons is outfitted with a large antenna, advanced sensors, and other electronic equipment. It was operated by a crew of over 400 individuals. You are listening to the artificial intelligence representative of Ram Rutangwala. When this spy ship landed at the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, we were curious to know why the Chinese spy ship is stationed, and news channels at that were full buzz about the spy ship. But when Agni V ballistic missile test was over, everything came to understand. Back then, India had issued a notum to designate the Bay of Bengal a no-fly zone in advance of the December 15, 16 test of another Agni V ballistic missile off the coast of Odisha in and around the Bay of Bengal. In clarification, what is notum? It is a letter to airmen, notice to airmen, notice to airmen, or notice to air missions. Notum, a letter made by an aviation authority to warn pilots of possible dangers along a flight route or at a place that could affect the flight. Coming back to Agni V ballistic missile test, whatever test India did so far for Agni V ballistic missiles were actually ballistic ones, but this time China was skeptical of some other version of the tests. India did not directly oppose anything for the Chinese spy ship location in Sri Lanka. However, what India did was to perform the Agni V test during the night. Hence, Agni V test was conducted during the night to circumvent the advanced sensor emanating from the Chinese ship and negate the spy ship's capability to capture the maneuverability and trajectory path of Agni V. Thus, kill the snake as well as have the stick is a proverb that fits well in this situation due to the test conducted in the night. How would you feel if you invested a lot of money to track your opponent but she circumvent your trap? When this test Agni V took place, you might have come across many viral photo shots or clips having Indians posting video clips or photos of some light similar to the ones that emanate from meteors. Why were we able to see that light in the horizontal trajectory close to geographical linear distance? If it had been a ballistic missile, we would have not been able to capture the light of the Agni V test. No country discloses or announces that they have a hypersonic missile, and not even I am allowed to claim that it might have been a test of hypersonic missile through Agni V test, and China knew very well of this fact, and that was the reason why China sent its spy ship to Hambantota port in Sri Lanka to track and identify whether India is testing Agni V ballistic missile or Agni V hypersonic missile. So, they could have understood why India tested it at night rather than the day, and the way the missile's path trajectory in a linear form close to the Earth's horizon proves the fact of what it is actually. Imagine if this test had been performed on the BrahMos missile or BrahMos cruise missile. Difference between hypersonic missile and ballistic missile. Hypersonic weapons travel at velocities of at least Mach 5 and are highly maneuverable and capable of course corrections in flight. They differ from ballistic missiles, which can also travel at hypersonic velocities, at least Mach 5, but have predetermined trajectories and restricted maneuverability. The other distinction is that hypersonic missile, after its launch and after reaching a certain height, it will travel horizontal, or it will take path in horizontal trajectory path remaining close to Earth's geographical horizon, and it can change its direction and target. So its travel path is linear form after its launch and after reaching a certain height. Its path is similar to cruise missiles. However, ballistic missile has got predetermined and already set target and will travel almost vertically and will almost reach stratosphere, mesosphere, or even thermosphere, and then it will come back to Earth and toward its target and hit its target. So its travel path is similar to triangular dimension. There are two primary types of hypersonic weapons: hypersonic glide vehicles and hypersonic cruise missiles. Hypersonic glide vehicles, rocket propulsion is used to launch hypersonic glide vehicles. After then, the glide vehicle separates from the rocket and glides at a minimum of Mach 5 speeds in the direction of the target. Hypersonic cruise missile. A hypersonic cruise missile uses air-breathing engines such as scramjets to achieve high speeds and trajectorial movement. In other words, with air ingested into their engines, it is boosted by a rocket to hypersonic speed and then uses an air-breathing engine called a scramjet to sustain that speed. USA, Russia, and China are supposed to have hypersonic missile arsenals, and now India is clubbed into the group, but because no country claims to have hypersonic missiles, India is silent about its hypersonic arsenal program. However, if we analyze the test, these countries, namely, USA, Russia, China, and India, are already racing for the hypersonic arsenal program. The other countries which are in the developmental phase are North Korea, Australia, France, Germany, Japan, Iran, South Korea, and Israel.